everyone, welcome back to Sweet Yellow House, and we are here today for part 3 of our ornaments. And before I forget, if you haven't gotten to check out my second channel, which is called Inside Sweet Yellow House, please go do so and subscribe. Thank you so much. So let's start off with ornament 1, and these are some curtain rings that have the clips on them. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the clips. I'm going to leave the little eye hooks on there, but the clips I'm going to take off. I'm sure I will find some other project to use those on. So I'm going to use some chalk paint from Folk Art, and this is a cottage white, and putting that in a cup, I am going to also put a little bit of water in there just because it's a little thick for me. So after I get done stirring that, I'm just going to start painting those curtain rings, and I believe that I did 2 coats on these, just drying with my heat gun between each coat.
Hurry Christmas, hurry now. I can't wait to see what's under the Christmas tree.
After I get done and those are dry, I'm just going to mix a couple of little different types of glitter together. They're all like an iridescent or just clear or some white in there, and then I just mix that all together. I'm going to grab my Type On and put some in a cup, and I also use some water in this just to make that really like thin so that I can use that to adhere the glitter. So using the water and stirring it around until it gets to a consistency that I like, and then just a brush, I'm going to brush that on. And once I have it brushed on, I then just go over to the little glitter catcher thingy, and I am going to just sprinkle the glitter over, and it's going to stick. I do have this silicone pad out because if you put the curtain ring, if you put the curtain ring down, it's not going to stick to that. So I have these little bottle brush trees that I got, I believe, from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to cut off the bottoms of them just because the little wood part didn't come off. Some extra greenery, and I'm going to begin to decorate these little curtain rings. So I'm just kind of decorating it like a little Christmas scene or a little wreath, and using my glue gun, I'm just sticking that greenery in place, and also then sticking the bottle brush in there. The nice thing about the little bottle brush tree is that it fits right in the center of that ring. So once those are in place, I have these odd and end little things that I got from Hobby Lobby. They were all 50% off. I went and purchased these to do a lot of different projects, and I have used them for a lot of different projects. These are kind of like stickers. They have like a little sticky thing on the back. So I just removed those, and then using my hot glue gun, I'm just going to also stick those into place, making little scenes in each of the center of these rings. Here I'm showing you that I also have these little puffy stickers, and these are really nice too. If you didn't want to buy these little thicker type of ornamental things, you can also just use stickers, and they come out just as cute, I think. These are buttons and odd and ends, and you can just kind of go through and put all of these little elements together, and they make such a cute little scene. Here I'm just putting a hanger through there with some red and white twine. I'm sorry if you could hear my dog snoring. She's asleep in my studio with me. These came out so cute, and they are such a cute little craft if you wanted to make something with the kids or something like that. And they are just, they look very vintage. Ornament 2 are these, for lack of a better word, these kind of ornamental balls. They kind of have these like wood chip coverings over them, and they're very like soft and flexible. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a start of a hole with my craft knife, and then using my scissors, I'm just going to cut that all the way around and make 2 halves out of it. I'm really not worried about getting it perfect. I just go around. I'm not worried about, the rugged edges or anything like that, because we're going to cover that up. So now I'm just going to go through all my drawers and kind of grab my odd and end little this and that's that I have from other projects, or little pine cones and butterflies, and because I want these to be a really kind of a natural type of ornament, so I just kind of went through and gathered all my odds and ends, and now I'm going to make little scenes inside of these. First, gluing in the moss into the side of the ball there, and then I just put little bird nest in there, and anything really that you have. And this is where I'm going to cover up kind of those rough edges just with the green moss there. These are so cute. I went because I wanted to go with kind of a nature type of theme for one of my trees in the living room, and these kind of fit the bill. So again, I'm just using my glue gun and then putting that Spanish moss in there, and I'm just kind of squishing it down, and then I put some of the green moss there because I really want to give it a lot of color, and then a small little bird's nest. And then I just add a little bit more moss, and then I'm just going to put some kind of Christmas red berries in there, and where the little wood chips type stuff came off on that, I'm just going to cover that with some moss so it kind of looks natural. I put a little egg in there, a piece of a feather that I have, and then it just looks like a little hideaway bird's nest. I thought that these just came out so cute. After I get done finishing up all of them, some of them I put these little mushrooms in, and some I just put pine cones in with some flowers and bottle brush trees. I just make a knot in some twine and then glue that knot to the top of the half of the ball. Ornament 3 is these little tart tins, and I have a bunch of these, and I think I made some ornaments out of these type of things before, but with this one I'm using my hammer and I'm going to flatten those out just a bit, and then once I have those all flattened out, I'm going to use my crocodile thing, and I'm using this to punch holes, a hole at the top of the tin, just because it's kind of a hardier tool that it can do that and take it. So I punch holes in all of them, and I get them all flattened out, and now I'm just going to start decorating those. So I grabbed the Carnival Red in the DIY paint, and I'm going to do half in red and half in a green color. So I just start out with the red, I do a coat, and then I'm going to dry that with my heat gun and then do a second coat on that. I want to make sure that I have full coverage on this. This is just for me. If you didn't want that, if you kind of wanted to distress them and have some of that tin coming through, you certainly can do that. So to make these kind of hardy, I'm going to put some big top over the top so I don't get any of that paint scraping off. So I just do a coat of the big top and then dry that with my heat gun. So for the green, I'm using Aviary in the DIY paint as well, and I'm just going to do the same process where I do 2 coats, drying in between the coats with my heat gun, and then I'm going to cover that with the big top as well. Once I have that all dry, I'm going to grab my Titebond again, and I am going to add some water again to it to thin it out. Titebond is a really great all-around type glue. If you thin it out, it still works really well, and you don't have any clumping or anything like that. And since I was going to be using a really fine glitter, I wanted to make sure that that paint or the glue was very smooth. So just with a paintbrush, I'm just going around the edges, front and back, and then I'm sprinkling the glitter just on the edges. You could do the whole thing if you wanted to. I've seen some that are done that way and they're really pretty. I just didn't, I just felt like I just wanted to make sure that I showed the paint and that green glitter was just kind of an accent. So here I'm doing that with the red tins as well. And with this one, I used kind of like a gold. I didn't use, like a red on it. I just used a kind of like a gold glitter that had some different flakes colors in it. So then I go back, and once those are dry, I grab all these little ordnance stickers again that I got from Hobby Lobby. This is like a sponge double-sided tape because I want those stickers to be raised. So all of these are flat stickers. So then what I do is I just grab some of that sponge double-sided tape, cut off a little piece and put that on the back so that it would raise that up off of that tin and kind of give it a really good some depth to that. So I just grabbed odd and end pieces of twine and ribbon and things like that just to hang these up. I didn't want them all to be the same. I wanted them to look very vintage, or maybe, just to look very different and very cute and have a lot of color. So this is a good way to use up all those little tiny pieces of ribbon we have laying around. Ornament 4 is a bigger ornament, and you don't necessarily even have to, it would be a nice decoration just hanging off of a chair, or like on a doorknob, or even just hanging off your in a Christmas type of vignette. So the first thing I'm going to do is drill a hole in the top of these. These are actually little cutting boards that I got from the dollar spot, I think, in a Target, and I've had these for a really long time, so I'm not even sure if they carry them anymore. So, but they don't have holes in the top, so I'm just going to grab the drill and drill a hole in the top, and then I sanded these down just a smidge to kind of get that kind of slickness off of it. And then I'm going to grab my wax and my antiquing wax, and just with a little towel, I'm just gonna do a rub over them. Nothing fancy. I'm just rubbing it on and making sure that it's kind of sinking into that wood really well. I didn't like the light color of the wood, is why I'm doing this. So I grabbed my ginger and spice IOD mold, and using the amazing casting resin, I'm gonna make the two big gingerbread people on here. I know I always say I hate casting resin, but since I was going to make the two bigger ones, I figured I wasn't going to get in much trouble with that. So this is a 1-to-1 ratio. You're going to measure that out equally, pour it together, and stir it for just until it gets clear. And that only takes maybe 20 seconds or so, not very long. So I let those sit and kind of cure, and then what I'm going to do is mix up some paint, Hay Sailor, and Fire Starter, and mix these together. It makes a certain sort of brown, and so that I can paint my gingerbread people. I think I got this combo from another video, because I would never think to put that together. I had it wrote down somewhere. So I mixed those together. I actually did put in a little bit of water, and then I'm going to use, once it gets to the color that I want, I'm going to use that to paint my gingerbread people.
But we can last. Hurry, Christmas, hurry now. I can't wait to see what's under the Christmas.
So I'm going to grab that Hay Sailor again, and just in that blue mixed with nothing else, I'm going to paint the jeans on the little man gingerbread. Once I have those done, I'm just going to grab my carnival red and paint her dress and his sweater. Now you could do these colors, any color you want on these. These are just the colors that I picked.
For you and me, oh, little bear toys that cuddle and woo, dinosaurs, boats, and
So once I have all those done, I grab the golden ticket liquid patina from DIY, and I'm just going to do the buttons on the front of these, and also the little bracelets on the girl gingerbread. So using Fancy Farm Girl, here again, this is just my choice of color. You can do it any color you like, and I'm just going to paint his little tie.
Santa Claus is coming. I know that Santa Claus is coming.
So I have these little pearls, and I just kind of added those to the bottom of her dress, and then I'm just going to glue these down onto the cutting boards.
Wake up with a smile. The feeling is
Once I have those glued down, again, I'm just grabbing some twine, red and white twine, to put through the holes that I made, and I'm just going to glue a little ribbon to the top. Again, these would look so cute in a little vignette, or, you know, on a tree if you have a bigger tree or something like that, or just kind of hanging off of your towel rack or something. Really cute decorations. You could even make these and then have the kids decorate them the way they want, instead of having to make real gingerbread, which I know can be a whole day's worth of work. So ornament 5 is this kind of ribbon that's made out of, you know, into shapes, and this is going to be a really easy ornament. So what I did was I cut those all apart, and then I'm going to glue them back into a way that I like them, to make them look like holly. And then once I have those all glued together, I have these little tiny clips, clothes clips. What are they called? Clothes clips? I can't remember. Clothes clips is what I'm going to call them. And then I'm just going to glue those on the back of those little ornaments there, and that's it. That's so simple. And you could just clip these to your tree, or even use them to clip to the top of presents and or cookie baskets or anything like that. Really fast and easy turnaround on this. So ornament 6 is another little tiny fast cute idea that I really love. So I found these spoons at Hobby Lobby and they were $1.99, but I got them half off, so I paid $1 for all of these. And again, the first thing I'm going to do is drill a hole in the top. So I'm going to grab my puffy paint and I'm going to fill the spoon part of that. These are already decorated because they already have a really cute candy cane type of decoration on the handles. So I'm just filling the part of the spoon, the round part of the spoon, and I'm filling that up. I let those dry completely, and when I came back to that, they weren't as puffy as I liked them to be. I wanted them to have a little bit more dimension, and I thought that's what it would do with the puff paint. So what I decided I was going to do is go over them with glue, and you could probably just do this initially and not even use the puff paint. So I grabbed layered chocolate and DIY paint, and I'm gonna paint that puff paint hot glue mounded stuff that's on the spoon, and I'm gonna make these look like dipped chocolate spoons that you would, sometimes like make hot chocolate with and stuff like that. This layered chocolate is great. It actually does look like chocolate. So I grabbed my Tite Bond and water combination again, and I'm just going to go over that brown paint, and it's going to do two things for me. It's going to seal that paint in, but it's also going to let that glitter that I'm putting on there stick. So I sprinkle it on there and just kind of press it down with my finger, and I just go through and do all of them the same way. So for the hanger, I just use some jute twine and I just kind of stick that through there. I do all of them, and then again I just grab some of these little trinket things that I got from Hobby Lobby. I'm doing these all in the gingerbread, the little girl and the little boy gingerbread, and I'm just doing a mixture of those, just hot gluing those on. The good thing is that this kind of gives it some weight, so it hangs really well on the tree. I think these are my favorite. So thank you so much for spending your time with me, and if you haven't gotten to check out my other 2 ornament videos, please do that. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. And I've had so much fun with these, and I hope that if you guys are just looking for some quick, fast inspiration, that you find something here that you enjoy. And with that, I will see you very soon.